Boom, 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 boom. What up, what up, what up, what up, everybody? Today is the 108th episode. Not 208th episode. I keep getting those numbers mixed up, damn it. 208th episode. I keep forgetting I'm on a 200s. I keep forgetting. Sorry. Yeah. But today is a good day, you know. Uh, we're going to have some fun. And, you know, I'm here with a friend, a good friend, an awesome friend. I was just on their show yesterday. Was that 2 days ago or yesterday?
Boy, I don't know. It was a couple days ago, I think it was. I'm right there with you. Like
2 days
it was
ago.
like I was on pills, man. Medically. Okay, I was just in surgery, so I was high on pills. So my days are a little off at this second.
See, you almost slipped up. See. Anyways, anyway, I was on a show 2 days ago. You know what I'm saying? I had to tell my little story, tell my story. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get that out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like the G.
Stop.
Oh,
You were preaching too, so come on, man. You did half
hey,
your story, so you're gonna have to come back on and go do the other half of the story because you, you between
hey,
you and preaching.
gotta remind that to God because I didn't do it on my own accord. It was Him. Okay,
Right.
all great praises to you, God. So it wasn't my fault. I didn't. I was just being me. And yeah, this is an in your face show, and I'm here with my main friend, my good friend, my homie,
Home
Miss
slice.
Christina Love.
What's up, y'all?
You know what I'm saying? See, out there, I've been hearing about you. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was on your show a couple of days ago, and we had a blast. My fault for all the churchy. I wasn't you trying to be churchy. I wasn't trying to preach.
It's all good.
But look, I wasn't trying to do all that. But
It's all good.
once he get up on you, he go crazy. All right. So I hope that the I hope I'm not echoing, but
No, you're
if
good.
I am, oh well. Um, but I want to say, what I'm saying, yo, man, I feel good. I feel real good. I feel great. I feel real great. Um, and I feel so great that I was able to tell a little bit of my story. I was great that I was because it was a that was like kind of half of the that was kind of half of the you know what I'm saying, kind of half of the story, kind of half of the emotional side to it. You know what I'm saying? It's still more emotional sides to it, but damn, I'm gonna have to write a book about that. That's long. That's
Yeah.
whew. Lord knows. I mean, I'll be all day trying to speak about that thing. So I mean, it'll be a long while, long time. So I don't want to be a bug in nobody's ear. I like to hear from you. So Miss Christina Love, she is a photographer, a chef, a mental health helper,
I
and she's a
do.
traveler, and she's a nutritionist. So without further ado, Miss Christina Love, introduce yourself, my lady.
Hi, I'm Kristen Olive, and I live here in Alaska. I am not born and raised in Alaska. I got saved in Alaska by God, but I was born and raised in Germany. And, so my dad was military. I have a military. family, you know, so like we have all things in our all the militaries in our family. So my son just recently joined the Navy. So what's going on? But I'm that military brat that traveled around the world and dealt with that. And of course, I'm German and Scottish and British and African and you know all that kind of stuff, right? So Alaska is like my whole, and I'm Polynesian as well, and so like and much more. But you know, so Alaska has all that here, and I don't have to travel anymore, like all the cultures. So it's kind of nice to be able to settle down after every 3 years moving and whatnots. And I've dealt with abandonment, you know, and parents divorcing and all kinds of, you know, so mental health is, and I deal with my own mental health. I'm recovered. I've dealt with drugs. I've dealt with alcohol. I've dealt with sexual assaults, you know, dealt with the pedophilia issues as a kid and all kinds of mess. So my first name was trauma at this point, you know, so now this year is my year, you know, we're going to get that back. So um, so now I just live here in Alaska. I do cook. I'm a chef, nutrition. I help people with different things. I'm an artist, musician, all kinds of. I sing, you know, it's all there. Like, like pick one, choose one, chapter 0. Like we'll start there. So whatever question you got, let me know.
Alrighty.
Oh, I used to be fat too. I'm going to say that. All right. I could say that. You could say that too about me. All right. I was fat. So
No, we ain't gonna do no body shape. No sir, no Bob. Nah, I ain't gonna do it. I'm fat my damn self, so we ain't gonna go there.
I am
I,
not going to be
nah, I'm
politically
not
correct.
fat. I'm skinny.
Like
Well, you get what I'm saying, then, man. I'm not. I'm skinny fat. How about that?
this. How do you get skinny
Skinny
fat?
fat.
What is
Well,
that?
you
Did I
know.
say big boned?
Well, let's just say I'm husky, damn it. I'm husky, man. I'm husky. I'm husky. Husky. I'm husky. Okay.
So like the moose right here.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm. I'm a husky. I'm husk. I'm a husker. Husker. Okay. I'm a husker. All right. I'm a husker. I mean, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that though. There's a lot of advantages for that. To that too.
What? Like not being kidnapped?
I'm actually too big to get kidnapped. Too big.
Exactly.
They'll be afraid of me.
You can't get kidnapped. I mean, yeah, you can't get kidnapped. Uh, I mean, yeah.
I mean, I would say, you know, put it like that. I mean, so without furtherest ado, so I hear that you a chef, right? And you
Uh-huh.
know, what inspired you to be a chef? What was your, you know, what I'm saying, what inspired you to become a chef?
Originally, um, so in school, you know, those vocational schools that they have out where you can choose a thing. I wanted to work on engines in a truck, and my dad was like, "Nope, you're a female. Females don't do that." So I had to choose culinary. But actually, it turned out that culinary arts, while I was doing my, you know, doing my schooling and all that stuff during that, I actually found out that that's actually a passion that I have that unlocked through a vocational school, which was kind of cool. So I've, you know, I haven't. I mean, I've done the ice sculptures and wax sculptures, and I had to learn all that and cook hippopotamus and all kinds of stuff and whatnot. But and but throughout the years, learning about the foods and what they do, how they harm, how they heal, how they do everything, and just the creativity of being able to make a plate look beautiful and taste good. It actually it's the creativity part, but it is a passion.
You
Or it
know,
is. I really wanted to work.
I have something to piggyback off of that. It's wild because I know how to cook myself, but it's
Mhm.
like, I'm still learning how to manage, seasonings, like how to be able to season the food right. But
Yeah.
I'm good at seasoning. It just I want to learn how to be able to season food right and be able to how can I say this? What's that word again? You know, the like say like for example, okay, you got what season go with mashed potatoes? I know garlic does. I know yeah, I know garlic does. I know garlic does.
Put a dash of salt, or you could play with that. That's the whole thing.
That's
You
basic.
don't have to be, yeah, you start with the basics, but the whole creative, and to be a great chef, you could actually, a great chef can smell the seasonings, right? And make a whole dish just by the, smelling the seasoning and putting them all, you know what I mean? Like it's just like one of those things. Um, but creating something new and just wild and different, and it actually tasting good, that's like the best part of it. You don't know what's going to come out, so just keep trying whatever. Like if steak seasoning goes well with, you know what I mean, like if you try just to put it in, like, wait, whoa, hold up, wait a minute, you think about, I think I found something, and put a little bit of sour cream in there or something, I don't know, like, and just like, hey, hold up. Like something weird that people may not think is good, but then if you can get somebody to try it and like really, like, wait a minute, hmm, but you figure it out. Just start with the basics: salt, pepper, like your
Right,
garlic,
right.
you know. But don't put garlic salt with salt, just the garlic powder, because you don't want too much salt. And your dish should actually, in a restaurant, should not have to have salt and pepper shakers on the table. Your dish should be that good that you don't need to season it because it's already seasoned perfectly. If you see a restaurant that has, and I'm not knocking any of the restaurants that have salt and pepper shakers or whatever, but the seasoning should be that well based, into the dish. It should just be able to just plate it up, do what you got to do, and send it to the customer. Um, and that would be, that's the goal. So a lot of people don't know that. Like,
Very understandable. Very understandable. That's why That's why I've always like when it comes to food, I've always looked at it like hey, okay, like I've always the type of food that I like to cook is breakfast. You know what I'm saying? I'm
mhm.
still learning how to cook like big meals, like Thanksgiving meals and shit. And so it's like kind of like I'm still learning how to cook big turkeys. You know what I'm saying?
Is, you know, that stuff, I could get that done in just a couple hours, right? And I'm saying that humbly. I'm still trying to figure out why it takes people days and hours, and they got to get up early in the morning. Nah, man, I go to, if I went to work and I had to cook a dinner, like, which I did before, the turkey, the stuffing, and it's a great big deal of a meal, you know what I mean, for like 12 people at least. Man, you just season your turkey, do what you got to do, and you have your little recipe, and then just have all your, you could have your stuff cut up the day before if you need to, right? And
Okay.
then just put it all together later. Like, and it shouldn't take that long for a turkey dinner to come out of the oven. Like, but I don't understand the whole shebang of, it takes so many days for a stupid turkey to be cooked. You know what I mean? Like that whole, I'm like, man, like, why? Like, why? And people get on me, but I mean, they love my cooking. You know what I mean? And prime rib and all that stuff. That's my favorite meal to make. And then I make like the meatloaf. For my patients, I had because they had to have like a half of a scoop or whatever, or a half of a thing of. So instead of making the whole loaf of the meatloaf, like making it into the regular thing, I decided to make them into like little hamburger. They're actual portion pieces, right? The same recipe, just a different style of making it. And they absolutely loved it and they preferred it that way. And I put the little ketchup or whatever they wanted on top of that. And it was a perfect portion on there. It took less time. Like I think it took like an hour to put them all in the little pan and then, and just keep it moving. Dinner was good. I could sit down and read a book or be with my patients or whatever it had to be. Like I had no problem with that. Everybody else was making them in the loaves, and they're like, "Oh my god, I got 4 hours to let this go cook." Then you got to sit there and, no, mine's done. like, you know what I mean? Like I do my prime rib with Coke, soda, or I mix orange juice as the base drinks, and I infuse. So I'll probably use orange juice and cranberry juice together, or pineapple juice and stuff like that, or I'll use soda as the base, and all that stuff, and it'll just melt in your mouth like crazy recipes.
Well, damn, I gotta learn from you. I mean, because
I had no.
I've always wanted. Was that?
So I had no complaints. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, how many people you ever cooked for?
The top I've cooked. I've done so many banquets, at least over 100 people at a time. Did banquets. I've done cafes. I've done 5-star restaurants. I helped open restaurants up and help train the people. And I like being in the back of the house in the cooking area, because being a waitress on my end, I like the people, but that is so stressful. Like, and I like I don't mind doing the dishes. I have a system on that too. I'd have that down too. And I train the people on how to do that. I just don't get why it takes forever and I keep up with it. But cooking the food is where I was at. The prep cook, the chef, the all that. But over 100 I've done before, and now I'm just kind of ramen noodles at this point. I got 5 minutes to my feet, but
do that.
Yeah.
So, so when it comes to like cooking and being a chef, how many years have you been doing this?
Since 2002. No, 2001 is when I started my journey on that. I didn't learn to cook at home. We weren't allowed to. My step.
How old was you at the time?
Gosh, I was 16. I graduated high school early.
March.
Yeah, I graduated high school early, and I still were 18 already. Me, I was 16, just turned 17, graduating. Still had to stay at home, even though I was an adult, out of school kind of thing or whatever. But yeah, I did that, and then I ended up out here in Alaska the first time, and then like I worked a 5-star restaurant. Like I worked throughout all the restaurants. I did the whole McDonald's ordeal. I've done Nope, I haven't. No, I did Wendy's. I did those chains, and then I've done opened restaurants where I was at in Pennsylvania, and then up here I've done the 5-star restaurants, and then I had an opportunity to be on the Princess Cruises. I didn't even apply for it, but they called me, and I was ACF accredited chef, and that's an honor, and I so it's just. I just ended up, I wanted to go further. Health took over, and like all the medical stuff took over. So life and trauma happened more or less. So now I'm getting all that back and really going to go through it and start going back into all that, like being in that creative mindset, and really taking care of that. Maybe training, more or less training, like in the hospitals and stuff like that. Out here, I'm going to go ahead and train how to handle the patient care, how to do all that and put menus together properly for patients that are in different forms, like if they had cancer or if they had geriatric surgery. Because hospitals, you can't, in the dietary section, you cannot just have one menu for everybody, and you have to listen to the doctors and the speech therapists. Otherwise, you can kill a person. You know what I mean? So food is very important. Like, we don't realize how much it goes in. I didn't realize until like about 7 years ago, like how much it affects us, But yeah, now that I'm old, instead of working the buffets, I'll like the menus and train, go on that other side of it.
I always wondered, right? Like being a chef, what was the hardest food you ever made? You ever had to make? What's the hardest to you?
Back then, it was eggs.
Eggs?
Believe it or not, it was eggs for me. I can make sandwiches, I can make steak, I can make everything else. Eggs and we don't get along. I'm getting it down now, but it was eggs was my problem. And I don't understand why the simplest thing was the hardest thing in my world. But I'm not sure where that, but it was eggs. That was the hardest thing to make for me, to actually make them nice and perfect. And I actually, about 4 years ago, a Filipino worker, a nurse, actually showed me a different way to make them. And after that, I was like, oh, well, shoot, why didn't they teach me that then? Instead of like, so like I had to pour the butter or the grease in the pan, but she took a spoon and she, to make the eggs, she just took the grease and then just spooned the top of the egg instead of having to flip them and breaking them all the time. But she's like, here, just do it this way. And I said, you know what? And it cooks it. I said, you got to be kidding me. So I was like, that was much more simple than sitting there trying to flip it and all that extra, and then it breaks, and then you got to tell the customer, I'm sorry, I got to make another 5 eggs. Just as it took me about 20 just to get this one sunny side up or whatever. Like, my bad. With shrimp bisque and all that stuff, I'm good.
See, I just scramble my scrambled eggs are easy.
That's where it ended up. Like,
damn.
Yeah, eggs. No. Yeah, that was my worst. That was my enemy.
Well, you learn. You know what I'm saying? You learn about those things. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of those things, when it comes to cooking, mine was fried chicken. Well, fried chicken.
Oh.
Being around fried food, because I don't like grease popping on me. I can't stand it.
Oh yeah.
I barely want to cook bacon, but bacon is my favorite, so I gotta cook it. You know what I mean?
Put those bad boys in the oven. You're good to go.
See, that's the thing. I'm so used to doing it on the stove and frying the damn thing.
Yeah. Put a paper on your tray and put the bacon in. A couple minutes, you're good. Did that and I was like, oh, these are even better. Like,
yeah, the bacon part. It's baked, but do it taste right?
Yeah. You can make them limp or you can make them crispy. Either way, but it's a lot better than sitting there and trying to kill yourself over the pan.
It's crazy. I've seen some people eat that fucking bacon raw, like not even not they're not like raw to its rawest. I'm talking about I'm talking about like I've seen some people eat it like basically like put it in a pan and it be so stretchy and shit like that, like gummy and shit like that.
That's the limp bacon. No.
Yeah, I'm like ew, like and I ate it. I'm like, that shit nasty. Cause it's crazy because I saw it on some white lady. White lady was cooking it, right?
Uh,
I'm like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, yo, like, is she just tearing that shit up, right? And I was taught that you have to cook bait, you have to cook pork all through, right? Or you get tapeworm, right?
yep.
So I cook my shit all through, so I make sure that motherfucker is done,
Yep.
done. And you know how some people like to eat their steaks raw, like rare.
Yeah, I used to have that meat before my surgery. I used to be able to eat with the redness in there, the pink, but I have to have that well done now. But it can't be like so crispy well done. It has to be like where you can
Cut it.
pull apart, you know what I mean? A nice chewy well done.
But
Or
see, and then people be like, oh, the best part is rare or medium well and everything. But I'm like, hold up though.
mm-mm.
But I'm like, hold up though. Wouldn't that give you tapeworm? They'd be like, that's the way you're supposed to make it. And I'm like saying to myself, that's a cow. And so they eat they carry tapeworms as well,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
carry parasites as well. So if you think about it, you know,
Pour some soda over it. See what happens. What comes out of it when it's raw.
nobody want to hear that nasty stuff, man.
See
I
with the
don't want to
pork.
hear that.
See what's,
No.
I'm being real. You're gonna see what's going into your stomach. I stopped eating the pork after a while. I was like, ugh, nope.
Hey, me and pork, we get along. I ain't mess with that. Me and pork, I will look. I'll tell you what. Long as I don't know what's coming out of that motherfucker, and I cook it right, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't even want to hear about that. Nah, but on some honest type thing, man. Like I've seen some of the most nastiest stuff. Like I don't know why, but like what kind of cheese can you eat? Do you eat all kinds of cheese for your body?
Nowadays, I can't. I can. I'm lactose intolerance, and but I do a little bit of the
Black
shredded cheese. Yeah,
black
yeah.
black folks is lactose. We are a lot of us are. Some of us are not. But a lot of us are lactose intolerant. I can't drink milk. I can't drink.
Oh, I can't either.
I'm starting to be affected by almond milk. I don't know why, but almond milk's starting to get me unright. And I'm like, damn. So what kind of milk can I drink?
Something okay, so something I've been learning with this bariatric journey on because I it took me a lot of money to figure out that was the horrible part about this whole journey was spending all this money trying to figure out what you can and cannot eat, right? Or what you're because it's a whole new stomach. But I'm just saying this in general. Um, with my coffees, I used to be able to drink the milk, but it had to be I was still lactose, but like soy milk or like almond milk or whatever, and I can have like the half and half cold. You know how you just pour it in and then put a coffee over top. So it took me about 100 coffees to figure out because anything lukewarm, it's not going to happen. I don't care what it is. Lukewarm is not going to, I just spit it right out and I get so super sick. So it turns out I have to, maybe you try getting your milk hot, like, like almond milk, try heating it up and then drinking it that way. Because I found out I have to have it like steamed with all the stuff in there instead of just them pouring it in. So I say 180 degrees, extra hot, with everything, and I feel so much better with it. You know, I still can't drink too much of the milk, but I can still do my soy milk, but it has to be hot. Um, so maybe trying it a different way, uh, still having it, but not.
Yeah, I don't know why, but like liquid base, like say like for example, like I could eat cheese, but I can't eat like um if it's watery, you know what I'm saying? If it's like liquid based and shit like that, like
Oh yeah,
it
like
fucks with my stomach, and I don't know why. Like I'm like, damn. But I could eat
it's
all the
yeah,
huh?
it's the product. It's the product itself. Like I can't have the white cheeses anymore. I can have the sharp cheddar, and I can eat the Swiss cheese, but it has to be a certain brand, and yeah, it's literally the brands. I can't even drink certain brands of water. Like it's
Yeah,
yeah, it's yeah. So like test all that out. See what you yeah.
yeah,
Don't
cause
don't knock it out, but and see what you can and what you can and cannot tolerate. But
yeah,
maybe trying protein milk. It's called Ripple. I don't know if you guys have it out there, but the Ripple milk is really good, and it'll give you your protein too. You can actually have that as a meal and still be okay with it. You know, you're
right. But see, a lot of these, a lot of these, what you call that, what do you call those things, when bodybuilders or people that's fit drink, what do you call those things,
protein drinks and all that stuff.
not a protein drink, but it has something to do with protein drink. It's a pre workout.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forget what they call. I forget
I
what they
can't
called.
whey protein and all that stuff. You gotta be careful with all that. Yeah,
Yeah,
stuff you have to
some
be careful with.
is but some of that milk like Encore like whatever it's called.
Ensure and all that stuff.
Ensure. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yep.
tastes like it got. It tastes like it got like tastes chalky. Like
Yep.
tastes like it's very what you call that? Like it got kind of like vitamins in it and shit.
Yeah, yeah. I had to stay away from those too. I can't have none of that. My doctor literally told me to eat real food and not even that cereal that has the protein cereal. He said eat real food and you'll get your stuff there versus the protein shakes and all that stuff. It's okay to have them every once in a while, but I personally can't drink them because milk personally messes me up completely. So I have to have it like in the water form or whatever. But yeah, like it's I,
Gonna have your ass.
I stay away. I stay
Gonna have
away
your ass
from shakes or
bent over in the toilet.
pretty much. Yeah, that man. Like after okay, so before surgery, I was already lactose intolerant, and I can kind of tolerate, right? So I'm like, all right, I can halfway die. I'm okay. I could take it, and every once in a while. Now, never again. I've learned my lesson. It wasn't the toilet. I mean, that threw me out so sick. Like my whole stomach was hurting so bad, like everything. And I was like, well, I guess I actually have to listen to my body now. Like I cannot cheat
Yeah,
or. So I
yeah.
gave a neighbor. I mean, I bought before the surgery, I bought like hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of the protein shakes because like, but they did say in the bariatric world, um, that because a lot of them do use that protein shake stuff, you know, but not everybody's the same. And you don't know.
Hmm.
It's like being born and literally being like how you have a baby and they're trying out new things and your body's learning new things. And so what you used to like may not like it now, you know. Um, or it might stay the same or whatever. But yeah, I gave my neighbor hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of protein shakes and stuff. I said, yep, all this is out. I can't have it. So, so bariatric pal, if you're going
What
to
a
go into
company.
So, if you're going to go into the bariatric world and do the surgery, the soups in the bariatric PAL are very, very well done. They're easy, and you get your protein, your water in, your all that within, because I think it's like 15 grams of protein for each little soup, and the hot chocolate and all that stuff. So, so don't spend, that's easy to spend money on versus spending money on actual food. And
I ain't trying to get no surgery. I'm trying to get my body cheap. That's it.
Right, I'm just saying, but I'm just letting people know who's trying to get the surgery. Don't go buying all that extra stuff. Just go to Bariatric Pal and just buy the stuff. That stuff is okay for the first couple months and even after. But that's don't mess yourself up spending all that money, like, because you don't know where you're going to be. But protein, keep your protein. Protein. I eat one big meal a day, and then
I like to eat, so my favorite food, man. I'll tell you my favorite foods now.
Well, obviously we know it's fried chicken.
I love fried chicken. Fried chicken.
But
fried chicken is my stuff. Now, I don't like unseasoned chicken. Ill. No, I won't eat it. What about I like fried chicken, ribs? I love ribs.
Stay away from the fried as much as you can.
I don't really eat fried food like that.
Yeah, but I mean, you can eat it once in a while, but just try to stay away. Don't eat it all the time. Unseasoned stuff. When it comes down to, you got that. What's her name? Mrs. Dash. Mrs. Dash is pretty good. Use your seasonings like that. Salt. Your salt intake. Everything. Look at your salt intake on everything that you're cooking. And once you get rid of,
Kristen, I hope you don't cook like no white ladies.
No. You can use a dash of salt, but say, I season. I'm not. No. I can eat unseasoned because I have to at some point because I had to have a plan, but medical reasons. But no, I am not going to be that person. I might be part, but I am not that part. Okay. No.
Oh my God.
Seasons do go in my flour. Seasons do go in all that kind of stuff. You
got that black in her. That black be like, season that food, girl. What's wrong with you?
Man, I'd sit there. Okay, so if I eat chicken, I'm putting that chicken in yogurt. I can't do it nowadays, but I put that chicken in yogurt as a seasoning, like a dip or whatever. I don't care. It has to have something. But my chicken does have taste to it, but it just, I gotta have that. like, okay, we're not being bored here. I hate
that's
it.
the thing. That's the thing, man. I ate some unseasoned chicken. I was like, no the hell they didn't. Like, the shit was dry. They gonna say some, it's the best chicken on the market. No, never.
Dude, that is the worst.
See, I am black. I gotta have me some adobo, some sazon, some salt and pepper, some onion powder on it, something.
Yeah.
No, you don't get the see. In order for a black person to like you, and you cooking them something, cook them some shit with some seasoning in it, some chicken with some seasoning on it,
and no celery.
See, this is why we don't invite the white folks to the cookouts, because they bring that potato salad with them damn raisins. It ain't not cool.
Just bring the water, the soda. Well, no, don't bring the soda because you'll do all that. The cheap soda. Or whatever those. I can't remember what they were, but yeah, just we'll allow you an extra plate, but. Come on, just the napkins, the tinfoil. You can bring the tinfoil, all that. But please, if you can, and don't do the macaroni and cheese.
Hell no.
I am picky.
No mac and cheese for me. No. Especially because I see some how they I see how people do it, and I said no, 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 no,
And
no,
it's
no, 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 no.
yeah, no. And the lasagna,
Barbecue
I'm picky. I'm picky about my lasagna. I'm picky.
lasagna's good.
Yeah, I'm very picky about how it's made. I don't like sausages, like the pork stuff going into certain things. A lot of people make the lasagna with pork sausage, and then they add the hamburger meat, then they add a whole nother meat, and I'm like, what the heck is this? So I got to pick out the pork sausage and then kind of eat around it. But I want to eat that cheesy, beefy, layered lasagna. Like I can't be doing all that extra. If I got to pick out the food, I ain't gonna eat it. I'm
See,
not.
this is the thing, and I'll tell you this: you gotta see, you gotta put some love into that food. You gotta put your feet in it, toes in it, wiggle them damn things in it. And what I don't
Absolutely.
mean literally put your toes in it, woman. I'm talking about put some effort into that thing, put some seasoning in it, and
Even yes, man, it's at least a seasoning. Like,
yes. Oh my
man,
god.
like put some
What?
love. Come on.
It's crazy. Like the one season food that my mom didn't make, that my mom made one less season less food that my mom made was liver. I never eat liver. I won't eat it. Never want to eat it ever.
I'm picky
Nope.
about liver and onions. There's only one place, and I think that restaurant actually shut down. The restaurant that I actually helped opened up, they made great liver and onions. And I don't like liver and onions, but it was for some reason, it was great liver and onions there. Anywhere else, I can't eat them. And I can find somebody who can make them properly if I wanted to eat liver and onions out of nowhere. But yeah, that is a dish on that side too. But
Yes. I no 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 no. No no. I don't care how good of the things I would never eat is beets and
I
liver and
like,
onions.
I like beets. I like pickle eggs too. Like I don't do like
Pickled
when
eggs.
yeah
Pickled eggs is that's easy. Pickled eggs is easy.
yeah
But ew, beets. Ugh. Yeah. Yucky.
now yeah nowadays I make my own jellies. So like out from the Alaska berries and all that stuff, and the crab apple jelly, and I mix all kinds of stuff into the jellies, and I do that, and I'm thinking about selling it actually. Um, but yeah, I'm starting to make my own stuff versus buying it from the store. Now it's getting all too much sugar or whatever it is in there.
You know what's crazy? I want to get my own garden. I want to get my
Right.
own garden.
Yeah.
Make my own. Own vegetables, fruits, and everything,
That's
and do something like that because whether you know it or not, the fucking food. Okay. The food in these restaurants and all that stuff, even the vegetables at these fucking um stores are all bad. They
yeah.
all sprayed with pesticides and all that shit.
I thought I was the only one that thought the same thing, you know,
You gotta
and
you gotta wash the shit, overly wash it. I'm like, look, man, back then we ain't have to do all that,
you know
but
what?
now,
Even eggs are different, even though that they're expensive as all can be. Because I help on a farm, and so I get my eggs from straight from the chicken's butt or the duck's butt. You know what I mean? Like but my stomach, I noticed the taste of the difference in the eggs, and my stomach will not take the egg from the store. And I believe that they, the stuff that they put on it, even though it's on the outside, it might leak. I don't know, but something's different. But I can't do the eggs. I have to have it from the farm versus a store.
Because those eggs that you're eating from the farm is fresh.
Right.
The eggs that you're eating from the store is
Had to wait a week.
pesticide.
Yeah, they had to.
Yeah, and they're processing. Yeah, and it's yeah, they spray with a lot of shit. You know what I mean? And that's all manufactured shit. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Um,
And I have a story about. Okay, so me, my stepmom, and my baby sister, we were out years ago, when I was back in Pennsylvania. My stepmom ate an apple, right?
mhm.
And you know how apples get brown right away, like all that stuff, and we know that's a real apple. So we were outside sitting, and she ate half the apple and ended up giving it to the squirrels. Don't you know that apple stayed there for a week? The squirrels, nobody wanted the apple, and that apple stayed like with the white throughout that whole time that it was out there. And we both looked and we were like, there's something wrong with that. That's not a good thing. We don't need that to be preserved like that. That we're putting on our bodies. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because if you notice, like a lot of these stores around you, half of that stuff is sprayed with chemicals and preservatives, right? And a lot of that stuff actually is it's fire, but it's sprayed with all that shit, so it's overly preserved shelf life.
yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they throw a lot of shit away every day. I worked in retail, so I know.
Yeah.
Uh, they throw a lot of shit away. A lot of shit that they may look. I mean, look. If you think like Mc, like fucking think about it, like Dunkin' Donuts, they throw a lot of donuts away every fucking day. Good donuts.
And they could have feed the homeless or whatever. Like if all these companies did that and not have to throw away, they could actually go take it to the homeless, the shelters and stuff like that. Like here, like you know what I mean? Instead of just throwing good stuff away. That's
But see, that's the thing. America is built off of greed and is built off of
definitely stingy.
selfishness, stingy, and they don't give a crap about nobody but themselves. And that's why America's going down in a handbasket. Oh well. Um, no matter how much president she gets, it's going down in a handbasket, whether you like it or not. Anyway, from I feel like in my heart, man, like the food that we eat is causing a lot of cancer. A lot of the stuff that we eat. It doesn't
Absolutely.
even have to be. It doesn't even have to be bad food. It could be the supposed good food that they say is good for you.
Right.
Even if
It's
you
messing
cook it
with your brains.
yeah,
The
even if
chemical,
you cook it the right way.
it's altering our DNA, or everything, the brain, our thinking and all that stuff, and really put, yeah, no, I
Yeah,
agree. The toxic stuff.
pretty soon there's not going to really be no food because they're going to start messing with the what you call that, the places where you plant at. The farms are not habitable. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
I dare them to touch Alaska. I, I will fight them single-handedly. Do not
Yeah.
touch out here. Okay.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Because well, a lot of people don't know, man. Like with all this with all this weather changing, ooh, boy. Mm. Like your winter is gonna be fucking spring. Your spring's gonna be winter. I wouldn't be surprised.
I will
Food,
work
like
it.
yeah, our food is
We do notice the change out here, definitely.
Yeah, like
Our summers were more like in the springish kind of thing. And we're like, well, where the heck did the sun go? Like we had sun for the total time of a summer, right? Like just about a good week or two. That's it. Like, if you really calculated all the days, and the rest of the days were like, um, oh, Kristen Scramster said, "Hey, swag, it's red,
what
also
up?
known as Kristen."
What
um,
up?
hello. Yeah, so no, yeah, we definitely noticed the weather here, and our bears they don't know what they're doing because they're supposed to be going to sleep and at a certain time, and they're still awake at like in the halfway middle of winter because there's like no
Yeah,
sleep. You know what I mean? And it's so sad. Polar bears don't know what the heck to do.
right. Hibernation, and it's like, man, and that's a shame, bro. Like pretty soon, and that's why I was saying on your show, man. Like, there's gonna come a time where food is not gonna be habitable. Like, you ain't gonna be able to eat food. You ain't
Hmm.
gonna be able to drink. Like, it's gonna come a time where the water is gonna be contaminated, food's gonna be contaminated,
Yep.
and you're gonna have to. That's why it's always good to store food up and grow your food
Yep.
because pretty soon the food that's being made by these manufacturers, you know what I'm saying, going to be so uninhabited,
Right.
shit, and it's going to be too high price for it fucking to buy it.
It's already
What?
there. Well, I mean, it's gonna get higher, but
Yeah,
it's
without jobs, it's not. Shit, you barely going to be able to fucking live.
yeah.
And so that's why I say, it's always good to plant your food. It's
Hmm.
always good to plant your food and make sure that you're stored up. Make sure you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, a person who does not prepare is is dumb. Like, you're not preparing for the times. Oh, you better, because you never know. We could go into a blackout. You never know. You could go into a fucking what you call those things? Hunger, like, not a hunger strike, but um
A
what are
famine
the
and all that stuff.
famine and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, like, I'd rather prepare for any of that stuff before anything. You know what I'm saying? You probably have to, so like, for example, um, you just got to be prepared for anything. You never know. Something could happen to where fucking the lights get cut off. You can get a blackout, and a worldwide blackout,
Yep.
and you won't
Yeah.
even know, like, when the lights go out and when it's out. Shit, you better know how to survive. The people are gonna
Absolutely.
start killing.
And
Yeah,
that's
and that's why.
something we do up here is we know we learn the skills, and we have our friends. We at least have one friend that knows how to fish or goes hunting, or knows how to do the whole wilderness experience. You know what I mean? Or like our earthquake, we had nobody dead, but we all helped each other. If we had fish in the freezer, we're going to the other person's house, we're helping the other person, clean up or whatever. Or, so nobody went hungry really or thirsty. We all just had it because we can go to the mountains and go grab the food. Like, hey, bring that down or whatever. And for the love of money, greedy desire for willingness to gain it. Same longing for that. Wait a minute, that's your cousin, ain't
Yeah.
it? Hey, bro.
What up, brother? What up, cousin?
Oh, Preacher's back.
You say, Hey,
that scripture.
he's great. You know what I mean? I can't say nothing about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, keep going, bro. I thought that was out.
Yeah, LOL. What's up? You know what I'm saying? She loves what you do, brother. She loves what you do, cuz.
Yeah,
Breathe.
agreed. Absolutely. And that's why we all need to be doing these podcasts. To me, the way God was showing me was that we all like this, right? You hold your hand next up like oil running our gifts, right? We help each other out no matter the famine, whatever it is, because we all were given a gift to give to the other person. Even if you're homeless, you still got a gift. You have a journey, you have a voice, all of that. And we should not be telling people that they don't have a voice, they don't have this, and they're not worth anything or whatever, you know? And
Hmm.
and like I said in the other show, gatekeeping. I hate gatekeeping. You know, like people need to stop gatekeeping the gifts. Like if you got a nugget, use it. Tell the people, show the kids, encourage them, you know, and not be all messed up. But yeah, like, and money, I put that to this. Like if it comes in, it comes in. Guys got me. Like, but but yeah, no, greed has no love for people.
None.
Absolutely.
Not a love. Not one.
Right.
Hold up. But anyway, yeah. And that's why I said, like, in all reality, we don't compete. So so
You know, you better preach that to, I mean, say that louder for the people in the back. We do not compete. We are supposed to complete
yes.
by helping one another. Yep.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
by because we're destroying each other if we're not helping one another.
Right.
And
Exactly.
hurt
Mental
and
health.
and that's why it's like when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, us doing these shows and helping one another, yeah. If you really look at it, how many people, you know what I'm saying, is doing that in the big leagues, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I tell people that the people that does what we do and the people that's making the money, the people that's on a bigger scale, bigger platform, none of them, and I mean none of them are doing what we're doing. None of them. None of them. I mean none. Like they're not even trying to help. They the big gate. They don't number one gatekeeper. On the real. On the
Absolutely.
real. Like they will. They are keeping the rich richer. You know what I'm saying? By bringing on, by promoting their bullshit, promoting their stuff. You know, they're the rich. They're keeping the rich richer, and that's why I keep telling them telling people all of these big shows are cash grabs. They're not here to help people. They're here to make things worse. They're here to be the problem instead of the solution.
Right. Absolutely right.
A
Absolutely
lot of these
correct.
shows too. A lot of these shows out here today are basically cash grabs. Like they're here for the money, but not here for the people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That you won't see them 20 to 10 years from now. You will not see them.
No.
Trust me. Every show that you've seen that's out today, everybody wants to be a podcaster, right? But
Yep.
if you really pay attention, notice every last one of these people are up under a network. They have to do a certain way. If they do not do it a certain way, they will not be on that network. They
I
won't.
did notice that as a new podcaster or broadcaster, I did like I did notice that that was kind of crazy, and I'd rather have my
Yeah,
own stuff, but I would learn from like you or it's different little things. Because I was like, what the heck is this, you know? But
yeah,
you know, it's but
yes,
I'd rather have
yes,
my own to where it's led by
yes. because being under a network, I
Mm-hmm.
promise you, you have so many rules that you can't even breathe. Like, soon as you say I hate gay people, or as soon as you say something against Jewish people or Jewish men, cancel.
Yep.
They cutting everything off, everything, all your sponsorships, all of it.
Right.
And a lot of these shows are sponsored, and so a lot of these shows are not going to give you. They're not bringing on a little man.
Right.
They're not bringing on a little man. They're bringing on these big. Continue to bring on the big people. Continue to help out the big folks, and that is why the richer are staying richer because of this.
Right.
When you
Yep.
put that God meets all you meet the needs of others without
Without thinking
thinking
twice.
twice. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Lack of faith is the issue.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's like doing these shows for me, it's fun to me. I don't I don't see no issues about it because shoot, I'd rather do this than go to a network and then lose my voice. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't
And
have a
then,
voice when you're on these big networks.
right. And then you've got to pay like $500 a month just to be a member in the network or whatever it is, or it's like, right now, no. No. If I can pay the couple dollars for the StreamYard, simple stuff, it may not be. That's why we need to be real with God and where we at. As you really gonna have to come on, bro. Like, Monday, like, one day we will meet in person or on.
My cousin Bert. He got his own business he's working on. So you might want to talk to him.
Absolutely, yeah. I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to promote. I want to help you. Um, get your name out there. In the network world. Um, yeah, just hit me up. You, um, yeah, that's what it's all
Yeah.
about. Helping each other. Absolutely. Yeah, just hit me up whenever God tells you. I'm here. Um,
Yeah. And that's what I've been saying about these big networks. Like, don't you know that you got to say what they want you to say.
yep.
You can't say like how we're free freehand and shit. No, they want you to say, oh, they want you to say all kinds of stuff. And also too, a lot of these networks are ran by guess who? One was ran by P Diddy, Revolt. One was ran by Barstool Sports, ran by a billionaire, probably a pedophilian.
Yep. And I ain't at all
Um,
mess.
Revolt was ran by say P Diddy. That's why, yeah. See, and a lot of people think that these big contracts that they're giving out is a lot of money. When you look in when hindsight behind, look at that. In hindsight, really look at that. The people that like $1 million worth of game. Ever seen that show? $1 million worth of game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you seen that they signed 100 million, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna break that down to you. 100 million. In all reality, that's not a lot of money because that's 50 million each. That's 50 million each, right? When you sign that contract, don't you know you're signing over every little freaky little sneaky little thing that you got? Your rights to the
Yep.
show, merchandise, all that, right?
Yep.
When you sign that contract, you really think they're getting all that money? No, they're getting half. Not even half. Not even half. Half of that goes to taxes, buddy. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And actually, too, also too, they shouldn't have signed that contract because they could have made way more than that outside of outside of it could have made way more than 100 million.
Yeah,
They could have made like 100 million for each,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
and they could have been a multi-millionaire. But they settled for less, and they got Bonewinkle. They got Boo Boo the Food. They got Curb Stomp.
But this
They
homie
got
don't play all that.
huh?
I said, but this homie don't play all that though.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure they didn't know the business. They didn't know business, a lot of business. But if you
And
really look at it, people be like, but when you got big numbers like that dangling in your head, in your face, you
mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? You thinking, oh, what are you gonna do? But then you also got to understand your dignity, your morals, your values,
Your soul.
your soul, and you're worth more than that, you dummy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because they just signed a slave contract. And Lord knows how long they signed that contract for. They ain't signed it for no 1 year.
Right.
Lord knows how they signed 100 million for God knows how long.
With most
Over
likely
10 years.
an NDA attached to it,
Uh-huh.
and
And a
that's
lot of
that.
people don't understand when you sign these. That's like signing a 360 deal when it comes to the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
That's signing a slave contract.
Yep.
And you letting them know that basically you are a slave to them. You are basically their property.
Right.
Like they get to take all that money, and guess what? When they give you that allowance, guess what? That's your money that they're giving to you, right?
Right.
But guess what? Here's the kicker.
You got to thank
You gotta
Beyonce.
pay that. You gotta pay that back.
Yeah. You got to thank Beyonce, or you know, just
It's our
allegedly,
time to take over
allegedly.
as you mentioned. Over the grown, we walk on. Yes, that's why it's all crumbling because God is healing the land that which is in darkness, all coming to the light from the top down. Yes, because
You
like
got
I
to
said, if
invite.
you notice, a lot of these celebrities is falling easily. That's why I said that's why God always told me the poor shall be the poor shall be rich and the rich shall be poor. He wasn't talking about in spirit. He was talking about in spirit, but also in the physical.
Right. Make my enemies my footstool. Thank you.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? He gonna bless you in the midst of your enemies, of course,
At the table, we'll be
at the
eating.
table, right in front of them,
Yep.
and dare them to try to touch you.
Yep. Got my angel right here, my other angel right here. My I dare you. Okay.
Exactly. That's why I
I
say
dare you.
I double dare you.
Double dog, triple dog, whatever, with onions on top. Dare you to touch my child? Like, go for it.
Yeah, you and them onions need to stop. No.
I like onions.
No.
They're actually pretty good
I like
for you.
onions too. I
It's
love
good for
onions. They burn my mouth though, but I love onions.
it's
But
because you.
anywho, so what about this? What do you like? What is the photography? What is this photography thing?
So my photography. This is my photo. Um, I have AK Pure Love Photography. And mainly at this point, it's been my like photo therapy kind of thing. So anytime I had to go through bingo, when you don't know who you are, you become who you're not. Exactly.
Exactly.
Uh, but so I actually started photography like 7 years ago. And It was kind of self-taught kind of thing or whatever, and people helped me along the way. And God's blessed me in this whole thing. So I've been around bears and moose and eagles and dogs, and like I take pictures of people too, but I love journalism and I love the journalistic point of view of the photo, and doing something creative. But this has helped me, like when I couldn't walk, I had to walk up the mountain or something, you know what I mean? Or bend down like this physically, I go paralyzed. So going up a mountain and all that stuff is literally something I have to mentally, me and God, it's a whole walk. Photographed whales and all kinds of stuff, but eventually I might do people. I did a wedding, but it's a passion, but I do have photos for sale, but I didn't put the money first. I put the passion first, So, yeah, that's just mainly it. I've got so many stories, sipping coffee with a moose, having breakfast, watching the sun rise, and here in Anchorage, and just to keep my trauma level down and staying away from narcissistic people and all, you know what I mean? Like just bringing God back in and peace of it's a healing journey. But Alaska is the best place to do that, is to really heal, especially being in the woods. I've watched the scriptures come out of the Bible. I didn't bring my Bible out, but I know the scriptures, but they were just like popping out when I'm like laying on the mountain and stuff like that. David got trained and prepared in the wilderness. David did? Was it David?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought he was in the cave.
No, David was trained in the wilderness. Yep.
What's his name?
You killed the lion and the bear.
Oh, that's, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right. My bad, Bert. Yeah, wilderness is my spot. I learned over on top of the mountain, been on top of the mount. I learned about how God, because I always wondered, I wasn't raised in the church as a kid. But I mean, God has always taught me on his own, and I've had pastors, and I still have I have a bishop and all that stuff and whatnot. But I've like salmon fishing and all that stuff, being out there and really trusting him in all things, and for him to take care of you. He said he'll provide all your need. And you can just ask him things. Like when I was salmon fishing, I would pray in the water, for everybody to have an abundance, right? So for the salmon to come in, so all the houses would be, that's my thing. And then, so like one time I came out there, had my waders on, and I just got out there with the dip net. And I said, okay, God, I only have like one arm, and it was a black guy in front of me. He was out there for hours. And I said, I just have the one arm, and this thing is heavy. I said, I need at least like two fish, or a fish, just bring it in within like the 5 minutes, right? That's like literally my conversation. I said, you said I can come here and you'll meet me the other time. And no lie. And I was like, and thank you, right? And in the middle of that. And so the guy was like, okay, that's weird. But no lie, in about a couple minutes, I got a salmon. I was like, well, thank you. Appreciate it. And the guy looks, and I was like, prayer works. And I walked out the water, and I just kept on grabbing the fish. Thank you. Much appreciated. And we just kept on going, and caught our fish. I could, so it's but that's my time with God. I have it all the time, but that's when I see that, I capture the smile, the essence of the animal. We have a great time together. I've never had a bad encounter with an animal or anything like that. And so is if it can make you smile, then it's all worthwhile. And then when I paint what I don't paint what I see, I paint what you see. So it's me and God painting. I can paint in 5 minutes, but I've got so much. But yeah, the photography, that's my thing.
is photography like your it's like photography like therapy to you?
Absolutely. And I have, it helps me with my memory because when I see my photos, like, oh yeah, okay, so yeah, that was that day, and then I can utilize it to help bring the word to the people as well, and seeing different paths or whatever, and I can put a scripture to it, but it has been a therapy, you know, physical therapy, spiritual therapy, mental health, all of that. Um, and it hasn't been, I've had so much trauma uh, with humans, you know, I never trusted humans. So when he had a bear come to me and sit in front of me, a peace came over me. I could have gotten killed, but he really, really uses the animals and all of that to calm me down. It's almost like service animals. Let them go try touching them and all that stuff, but please don't do what I do. Like, guys, that's not. But it's just a whole spiritual aspect for me. It's a very big healing. And so when I come off the mountain and all that stuff after he talks to me and whatnot, I come back down because I get away from my problems, and then I come back down and I'm more calm. And I call it my no trauma allowed spot. So I can just go drive somewhere and down the street and be at the ocean, or whatever it is, and we just sit there and just have a cup of coffee or lunch, whatever it is, and um, eagles, they've been really great to me too, flying over the head, and that scripture where it soars like going on it's just a lot that they did, you know. I could have been killed, but I haven't. But yeah, I've healed a lot out here with the art and whatnots. Got
You
any
know,
questions?
you know. So, what is the most oddest thing you've ever captured?
The most oddest thing. Uh, a dead whale.
Wow.
A dead whale. That I think was my. Thank you, Bert. He said he's using what he's created to heal who he's created you. Um, I was in photography in my class, in the photography class. I just took it in college just because it was an easy class, right? And I needed some credits for this last semester. And it just so happened we had to have a theme photo, right? And he wanted like 5 photos, so it could be like the theme of a color or a theme of whatever it is in the sequence and stuff like that. And the fin whale kind of showed up during that week. And it was a baby fin whale out here, and they're on the extinction list. And so when I wrote exactly what I did, this is like the weirdest thing, and it was the healing portion for me because I always wanted to be a marine biologist, and the theme for my sequence was red. So everything in there, whether the color of the jacket of the lady that was on there, or the opening of the whale was red, or the blubber was red on the ocean, and stuff like that. I actually walked on the ocean, didn't think twice. I mean, well, yeah, of course the ice, but like all of that, like I didn't think twice. But I went to go see this whale, so I have to do it. But when I was a little girl, that trauma portion of me, that was the one thing in the library. I took a book out. That was my first book, and it was all about whales, and the fin whale was on the thing. And I've always wanted to meet a whale and all that extra. So this time it was like a healing portion because God brought me back into it. And I said, listen, that red represents the trauma and also a healing portion of my thing. So that whale and I connected, in such a different way. So that was for me, that was the odd thing. That, but it was pretty cool to be up close, and be around the scientists or the biologists and stuff like that. Close as I was going to get to being a biologist. But yeah, that was the oddest thing I've ever taken a picture of. It's quite interesting. Like,
I got a
and
question. What is the scariest moment you ever been with
what's that?
photography? When it comes to your photography, what is the most scariest moment you ever had?
Uh Being halfway off of a cliff trying to take a picture of a waterfall that's really tall.
Oh, you crazy. Mm-mm. Nope.
Or okay, I can add this one too. I'm afraid of water. Like, I'll do it for the adventure, right? But I'm not big on the. I respect it. I've been in the floods and all that stuff, and all, but I was on the ocean in Homer, and in Alaska, you got to take the adventures, no matter how scared you are. That's that's you got to do it. You fish in the ocean, and have all the sea lions there. I fought sea lions for my fish. He took fish off my all kinds of stuff. So we were halibut fishing on a friend's boat out in the middle of the ocean where whales can come out and humpbacks and all that stuff. And I mean, just you never know if a whale's coming. I'm afraid of that whole you see ocean and nothing there too. And if I can touch the water, we got problems, right? That's the whole issue, right? So me, I have my camera and I have it around my neck and I'm fishing for the halibut and I have I'm a pole in the hand and my camera doing this, click, 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 and then, and dealing with the animals, the birds and the sea otters and all this stuff and just waiting for a daggone whale to flip the boat somewhere, because they're so huge. You just don't know like exactly what you're going to do. So that for me is scary. Right. It is scary not to be in control. Right. Like I can't even be at the edge of the water in the ocean because I'd be scooting my chair back. I'm like, look, God, you keep the water here and I have no problem. This is literally my conversation with him. Like, no problem respecting your deal. I don't want to touch that water because that water can go take me somewhere I don't want to be. And I'll just move, and then the water keeps coming back. He'll keep it sometimes, but I'll be moving my chair back. It's like, dang nabbit. So yeah, or fishing, snag fishing for salmon in Seward on the top of the pier. Like it's literally about this, like I mean, this about this wide, and you can literally fall into the water into the ocean while you're standing there, and you don't know, nothing's there to hold you. So you're just like snag fishing and the sea lions come out. I didn't know that they were coming out and the seals and all that stuff right there. They just snag. So you're being pulled and then things are huge. That's kind of scary.
That's what? What?
I gotten
I'm
stuck
black.
on the road on the mountains in the middle of the night. Adventure. Like the waters teaches us trust. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there's power in that water, man. Like spiritual power, for sure.
I got something to tell you after the show too.
All right.
But all right. What is your okay? I hear that you are a nutritionist, this.
Working, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm kind of doing it freelancing at this moment.
But damn, you might as well just be a personal trainer and all that.
I could, yeah. I mean, if people come up to me, I'll help you, like, and all that stuff. Yeah, I was working, but I ended up on workman's comp now 5 years ago. So, like, I kind of can't go back into that of the job, but I love my job. working with patients and stuff like that in the dietary section. But yeah, no, I can help out with, the different diseases and how to eat properly, and helping with what do you call it? Like the bulimia and all that stuff. The I can't think of the name of it. The issues that someone would have with all that. Definitely can help somebody out, helping them getting healthy and helping them getting fit, and whatnot, for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Right. So
Got a lot of knowledge and wisdom. I just, they come up, whoever God gives me.
right. So what about your nutritionist part of you that what inspired you to become a nutritionist? Calls us to the deep, but fear and past negative experience stop us from going deeper. So, yes, sir. Very much.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm reading what he just wrote too. Absolutely. Yeah, I've got stories for that too. But what your question was, what made me become in the nutritionist?
Mm-hmm.
I actually was kind of forced into it. Not by people, but by God. Like I didn't have anything. Like the culinary was cool, but I didn't think anything of like part of it and how the deep depth of it was. But working at the hospital, kind of learning the different things that different patients have and how much food impacts and how to cut properly, how all that stuff, and the different diseases that these people have, like what we had to put together and whatnots. It made me want to go deeper in that. And plus my personal journey with food, of being fat at one point in my life. And if y'all hate that word, I'm just going to be real. I'm calling myself fat. Okay. That's what I was. And I'm okay with it now. I am in a real weight at this point, but I worked hard at that. So, yeah, it just kind of got forced into it, learning medically. I like the medical field. It's more or less my thing.
Do that. And that's the best way to best way to go about that. You know what I mean? So I mean, where do you feel you're being a nutritionist? How many avenues where can it go?
For me personally, or for everybody like who wants to take a nutritionist level, you can go anywhere with the nutrition. You could specifically go into it for just for like cancer patients or patient. You could make it specifically, but for specifics, but you really can go into a different thing. That's up to wherever your passion is, where you can go. But pretty much the basics of the college degrees and stuff like that, it's basic. You know what I mean? Like, but you take a minor in something else to help you in that specific area of the nutrition, because it'll go a little bit deeper. So, you can take I have psychology and all that stuff, but so like mental health plays a big role in your nutrition. So you have to get your mindset right. So let's say we'll go with like, I don't know, you've seen that my 600-pound life. We'll go with something that we all know somewhere along the way. Have you ever seen that show?
What's that?
Have you ever seen the show My 600-Pound Life?
Yeah.
Okay, so like that's pretty much the journey that we go on. The mental health, a lot of them, like the first lady, she was cool, but you have to get this right before you even go into any surgery, anything. Get yourself together on the mental, get your trauma kind of going in, get your therapist, all that stuff, and get that situated, because it'll help your anxiety. If you're anxious, you're going to eat more, right? So, or whatever it is, if you're bulimic or what, your mental health, something's going on, something in your past helped trigger, you got so many triggers, whatever it is. So psychology is a good thing to have under your belt to be able to help others as well. But looking into the mental health portion first, and then it's not just eating a steak and then that's it. Your stress can cause you to gain weight too. So learning how to deal with your stress, learning how to deal with your anxiety, your PTSD, all of that, putting that all in check, allowing God to do what he does, and then everything will fall into place, um, and you can't just go in it backwards. You saw those other people, they went in it backwards and they were like, well, we can't lose weight. We're only losing like a pound, or we gained 20 pounds or 100 pounds within the last 2 months. That's because their mental health was gone. So they needed to go to therapy and then have that taken care of. And as that time takes time, you shouldn't expect to be losing weight tomorrow. Just saying.
Right.
Yeah. Look at who's around you. Look who's around you in your circle. Even if you got to go at it alone, because sometimes people are going to be your enablers, and it's the ones that say that they love you. Like your mom could be your enabler, whatever, or your brother, your sister, or whatever. You have to be physically able. I am going to do this here. You eat what you want to eat. I'm going to eat what I'm going to eat, and please stop giving me this stuff. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of enablers try to do that, and they, they'll get jealous of you. They'll do all that kind of stuff. They'll try to trip you up, but you got to be strong here. And then, spiritually and mentally at least, and then take on that. You got to look at everything.
Right. That's right. Yes.
Quiet over there.
No, I'm just thinking, man, I got a big journey ahead of me.
Absolutely. But having a good peer support system on anything helps. You know what I mean?
Right.
Having that accountability part, having that.
I mean, I would think that if we believe, we can achieve. You know what I'm saying? We believe we can do it. You know what I mean? It's all about going for what you know and putting your best foot forward, and just letting God work it out.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so that's why I got an idea. How about next week or so, I'll bring you on for part 2.
All right. Yeah, we could do a part 2.
When can I do part 2?
Huh?
When can I do part 2?
Oh, anytime.
Anytime.
I got.
We gotta have some fun on that day. We gotta have some fun on that day too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Now that people know you, it's yeah.
What do you mean now that people know me? They all know me, though.
Yeah. Now that they all know you, the hard part is over. So now it's like, all right. But I really wanted to do some good reaction videos.
What do you mean?
Like, nice, like how some people, they do like reaction videos to like some TV shows or whatever and stuff like that, and just like I wanted to sit and like do some kind of, I just had to find somebody that would actually be nice about it. We're not gonna be stupid about it, but like just react to like a TV show, like I don't know, like
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be
some
fun to do that.
weird series that allow us to react. Like, but yeah, no, that's I've been thinking about doing that.
Yeah, we could do that
Uh,
together. Have fun.
yeah, learning that, but yeah, no, it's open. Like I got the word that comes forth on the broadcast. I got photography club. Like if you don't even have to be a photographer. If you got pictures of your backyard, we want to know where you're from. You know what I mean? Like talk about your.
Right.
It's called the what do we call it? The story behind the art. As long as the picture ain't blurry. But if you sculpted something or if you painted something or whatever, you just want to share it. We're here to look at it and we'll of course give you all your credit. And if you got you want to sell it, that's fine too. But the story behind the art is like literally a club where we could just chill, look at your artwork or talk about, and then we got 907, and the 907 only in Alaska. So we're gonna have that and have all types of stories about Alaska. All kinds of things are gonna come back on. So I think reaction videos. We'll see how that goes. I'll have to figure that out. But
I mean, yeah, us two doing it, it's going to be fun as fuck.
yeah, we have to do it without the swear words though, because but honestly, we could start with my 600-pound life.
Oh no, I ain't mess with, I ain't mess with that.
We go through
Oh no,
every situation, or just find
any
some.
look, anything but that, anything but that. I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that, man. I'll be done bust out laughing and nah, I can't do it. Can't do it.
That's okay. But or was it Tammy and what's her name, sister, the 1,000-pound sisters?
Why are you trying to get me to do that? I don't want to do it.
Accountability, bro. Accountability.
I'm
It'll
sorry.
you.
I'm sorry. Can't do it. I love the big people. I love the big people. I love the big people. I'm big myself. So.
We love them too. We love them too. But, or they can pick the show. We'll figure it out. People can pick the show.
Yeah, let the people. Well, yeah.
Well, we got to cipher through it, but let the people pick it out and give us some series that we can check out, and hopefully we won't get copyrighted or whatever. They have those rules. We don't want cancel culture up here.
Tell them jump off a bridge.
I can't do that.
Cancel culture. I tell them jump off a bridge. Cancel culture.
I can't.
Anyway, I tell them jump off a bridge. They ain't gonna do shit to me. He's on my side.
Yeah, he's on my side. We shouldn't be encouraging stupid stuff.
On your side too. But damn, they ain't doing nothing but being cancer, so I gotta throw them off the bridge. Anyway,
I just do one of these. Like, yeah, right. We're just gonna have to ask God what He wants next. Absolutely, we're just letting it happen. But it's a goal. It might not happen. It might happen. Who knows? But it's definitely a goal to do those reactions. But we should be encouraging each other and not putting each other down, sir. And get back to whatever God revealed and go from there. Yep.
Of course. But without further ado, let me take us out of here.
All right. Bye, Bert.
Why are you saying bye right now? I'm gonna go do something real quick anyway after this. Okay. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe channel button to get all That is the In Your Face Show. And it's in your face show. And we out. Peace.